I've developed many object-oriented systems. I started my career working at Siemens, developing medical software, and we used UML a lot. So when you, quote, play with people's lives, it is important to put together something based on a plan. And Siemens was really good at it. So we planned everything. There was no way to use an agile approach. Everything was carved in stone. And I kind of liked that approach. Later I used various agile methodologies, and I had several colleagues who were against UML, against putting anything on paper. I get what agile is about, and I understand we don't want to document everything. We leave some room for creativity and for new requirements and blah blah blah. Yet, without planning, it won't work, it won't fly. You have to do some sort of planning, even if you are working with an agile methodology. Now, people confuse agility with total chaos. Instead of getting rid of all planning and putting anything on paper, you should find a balance between over-engineering something and trying to clarify all the tiny tidbits of everything. You have to at least see the big picture. How I hate this word, but anyway, you get the idea. You have to document some parts of the system and identify the big players, the major entities, components, and so forth. Without that, how could a team of 5 or 8 people work on a project? Everybody will start eventually to invent tasks, and you might even encounter redundant work. People working on the same topic, just give it a different name, and eventually during the daily scrum you will find out, okay, I've implemented this feature. Say I've implemented the local persistence, and the other guy, hey, wait, I was working on that one. No way, we agreed yesterday. See, no documentation, and people are really clueless sometimes. Even people with a lot of experience, with several years or even decades of experience, might fail into this trap of just do it. We don't need any plan. Don't write anything on paper, or don't put it in an electronic form like, say, a UML diagram. And what's UML, by the way? We don't need that. It's just over engineering. No, it's not true. UML is really useful, but quoting a colleague of mine, knowing some UML is more useful than knowing a lot of UML. What he meant by this is, once you really get into the details of UML diagrams, all those tiny arrows and annotations and whatnot, you get lost. Instead of focusing on what you're trying to describe using the diagram, you try to figure out what that particular UML annotation or arrow means. If you know how to put together a class diagram, how to identify the big players using a use case diagram, how to describe a flow in a certain scenario using sequence diagrams, how to visualize the state transitions using a state diagram, you're good to go.